Hello, hello. I thought today we would do some rye breads. So first of all, I made this a little bit earlier. It is a rye wreath. And now I thought we'd take this other rye and pumpernickel swirl and do something with that one. So this is a round loaf. So what I thought I'd do is come in here. Now the dough is very soft, so it does not lend itself to a whole lot of really neat slices, but that's okay because we're going to just come in here and divide it up, and then we're going to take our little handy dandy scissors. We're just going to make little cuts all along those lines. I'm going to move it in closer so you can see, and I'm just going to cut all along the lines, and with any luck we'll have our little trees. And don't worry about being perfect because it's going to expand in the oven. We're just going to come in here and slice and just trim it up all along those lines. And regardless, it's going to look pretty just because of the contrast. So even if it doesn't come out perfect, you don't care. You just slice it up and nobody's going to know the difference. All right, so we're just going to come in here and cut. And I'm going to show you how to make the dough as soon as we're done here. And this is in the oven. Because rye bread is delicious, and this is not a sourdough, this is a yeasted dough. Although you can make it with a sour. All right, so now we're just gonna dust it with a little bit of flour. And I love these little mason jar with the screens for flour. All right, we're gonna cover it. And then, just like always, 20 minutes covered, 20 minutes uncovered in a 450-degree oven. So that's gonna go in. And I have to take out my other loaf. I'm a dummy. All right, let's move this one. And put this one in. So 20 minutes for that one, and then we'll get going. All right, so let's make the rye bread dough. In here, I have 775 grams of unbleached bread flour. Okay, so it's King Arthur's unbleached, unbromated. And to that, I'm going to add 100 grams of dark rye flour. This is what I'm using, organic rye flour. So we're gonna add those two together. And then we're gonna add 15 grams of yeast, which is 2 packets of active dry yeast, or you can use the instant yeast. Either one is fine. Let's tap out the rest of this flour here. And then we're gonna add 10 grams of caraway seeds. If you don't like caraway seeds, you can leave those out, but that's what gives it the distinctive flavor. We're just gonna give those a little mix. This is a dough mixer. So we're just gonna mix that up a little bit. And then we're gonna add our salt. And we've got, I think it's 25 grams of salt. I'm using a Celtic sea salt. You can use kosher salt, but use a good quality salt because that's gonna really affect the flavor. And then we're gonna add 700 grams of water. Now I pre-measured all of this just so you don't have to watch me measure it out, but we'll pour that in. And then we're just gonna take our little whiskey thing and just give it a little swirl. And it's a very wet dough, and then what happens is it has a very slow rise. So it'll rise in the refrigerator for 1 to 2 days. So it has a lot of flavor development. So just like a sourdough, this type of yeasted dough has a long cold rise, so it will break down in your belly a lot easier. All right, now that we've mixed it up to this point, now we're gonna switch to our hand. And so you're just gonna come up from the bottom into the center, up from the bottom into the center until we've used up all of that flour. And every once in a while, I kind of give it a squeeze to get the moisture out of the middle of the dough and into the dry flour. We're just turning the bowl. Let the bowl work for you. So you don't have to do all the heavy lifting here. We're just gonna come in and push it down. Now, if you like that caraway flavor, you can add another tablespoon. It depends on how prominent you like to make it. And if you wanted to make pumpernickel, to the water, you would add 20 grams of cocoa powder, unsweetened cocoa powder, and then proceed as usual, and you would have a nice darker loaf. Or you can take out half of it and do half with pumpernickel and half with rye, and then just mix the two together, which is what I did on the other loaves. All right, so this is what your dough is going to look like. It's very shaggy and messy, but the beauty happens in the refrigerator. It comes out like silk. It's beautiful. So I want you to go ahead and do that, and then I will show you in the comments what the finished loaf looks like that we put in the oven, because I'm certain you do not want to wait 40 minutes to look for it. All right, my friends, get baking. This is a perfect one to hollow out the center and add some spinach artichoke dip. All right, see you later. Bye.